Thanks for joining me today and welcome back to my FTB Unstable 1.8 series. This is Danny and we are going to be playing with Chisels and Bits today. Hooray! So for the last couple episodes we've been doing a lot of techie stuff. And before that we were doing a little bit of magical stuff. So today it's going to be all about getting in touch with our creative side. So you might notice I've made a few changes to my front yard. I've got a little sunken patio out here with a table, a custom-made table, along with a little custom-made path. You might remember the stepping stones from earlier mods. I don't remember which mod had the stepping stones. I'll have to look that up, and it's on your screen right now, probably. So I just did this with Chisels and Bits. I've also still having a little lag here in the base. I also made this little bookshelf, or whatever. Oh boy, we're missing a few episodes back, actually near the beginning of the series, I think the day that I built this house. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at just how Chisels and Bits works and how you can make stuff like this. And we're going to start with a very simple project, and that is, just to kind of get to know how everything works. And that is, one of the things that I've been wanting to do with this house since I built it is to replace that jaggy roof with a nice sloped ceiling. So of course I've got the stairs giving us our slope here. And we don't have carpenter's blocks, so we can't use the carpenter wedges, but we can do something very similar with Chisels and Bits. So that's what we're going to do. And the reason I made this little patio, and it was not only just to showcase the kind of stuff that you can do with Chisels and Bits, but also because this is going to be our little kind of crafting, well, I guess we can't say crafting table because the crafting table already exists in Minecraft. But this is kind of going to be our little workbench so that we can practice with Chisels and Bits. So of course Chisels has chisels. We have all the different levels of chisels, stone, iron, gold, and diamond. And the only difference is durability. They all behave pretty much the same way. So by default, when you grab a chisel and you right click on a block, it takes one bit out of the block. Your inventory, when you're grabbing blocks like this, is going to get very full. Very, very, very full. Just one block is 16 by 16 by 16 bits. That is 16 times 16 times 16 is 4,096. There are 4,096 bits in every block. So if I were to break this block down, I would end up with 64 stacks of these great wood plank bits. Fortunately, there is a solution for that, and that is the chiseled bit bag. Which allows you to hold a lot of bits. And you can see I've already got quite a few. When I hit shift, we can actually see what the full block looks like. But I've got a whole bunch of great wood plank bits in here, and a bunch of cobblestone bits, and some glass bits, and some of these sandstone bits. These are all bits that I got from just various things I did with my house, like the windows and stuff like that. In this bag, each stack holds 512. 8 stacks of these is one block. So you can hold about 7.8 blocks worth of bits in this thing, which should be enough, actually. So anyway, one of the reasons I created this table is because it's just easier to carve blocks when they're at your face level. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a wedge. We're basically going to create a sloped block. But obviously, if we had to do this one bit at a time, it would take forever, right? This would take a really long time, so we don't want to do it that way. If you hold down the Alt key, you have all these different options. So I think what we're going to do for this is we're going to start out with the line option. And when you do a line, whatever block face, you can kind of see the shadow, whatever side of the block you click on, it's going to chisel a line all the way through to the other side. So if we do like, let's see, if we do that, it takes out that whole line. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go diagonally through here. Okay, we have to start over. I did that kind of wrong. We don't want to take out the corner. We want to go one in from there. Oh, whoops. So you have, if you right click, it actually toggles through all the different modes, and you can kind of see. There we go. That's what we want. Line. That's an alternative to doing the Alt key. So, but you left click to actually do the chiseling. There. So now we're going to take out the rest of this stuff. And again, it would take a really long time if we had to do every one of these. I mean, we could do it. We could just go through here and just remove every one of these manually. But another option that we have, first of all, we can do the large cube to get the big corners out. And then one of my favorites is this drawn region, which allows you to click on one side, hold down your mouse key, and then drag to another part to remove a whole chunk that you are hovering over. This is kind of hard to do in the rain. Oh wait, the one up here. There. So it basically goes from the block that you first click on, and as you're holding down your mouse, it then goes all the way to whatever bit you are hovering over when you let go. There. So we have a wedge. Now we just have to do this for every one of those blocks up there, and then we'll be done. Just kidding. So now we can actually make a pattern out of this thing. We can make these chisel designs, which I've already used. I'm actually just going to get rid of. See, this is the one I used for the table. You can see it when I hold the shift key, you can actually see the shape. I use that for I made one of the corners of the table, and then I turned it around. But there's 3 different kinds of chisel designs. There's a positive chisel design, there's a negative chisel design, and then there's the mirror chisel design. We'll look at the positive one first. And we can just put that in our crafting grid to clear it. And then all we have to do is right click on this, and that's it. So what the positive chisel design does is when you right click on a block that can be replaced with a chisel, so if these chisel blocks, or maybe one of these blocks, or any block, it will show you the block that it'll basically replace that block with this chiseled pattern. It'll take bits out of your chiseled bit bag, or out of your inventory if you happen to have them in your inventory. Now unfortunately we cannot make bits out of stairs. The stairs are not chisel compatible, so we're actually going to have to replace all these stairs with something else. And I think what I'm going to do is just use the wand of equal trade to do that. We can probably just go like this. Click on that. Hopefully this will work on stairs. Yep, okay. So now we just took one step backwards. So now we just hold our thing here, and it replaces this block with, so what it actually is doing is it's chiseling away at that block, and then it's replacing it with the chiseled bits from this pattern. Our bit bag is actually getting more, very full. So I might have to throw some of that stuff in the garbage, but yeah, see now, our bag is full, so it just threw bits all over the place. That's funny. But then the other thing we can do with this is we can, like when we get to the other side of the ceiling, or the other side of the roof, we're going to have to rotate this. And it depends on which side of the block you click on. So you can see when we click on this side of the block, it's going in that direction. So when we come over on that side, we'll just go in this direction. But you can also hold down the shift key and hit your scroll on your mouse, and it'll rotate it that way as well. Got most of the pitch done. And I ended up having to set my trash bag to destroy the great wood plank bits because there were just so many. I made another bit bag and it filled up like almost instantly. So it was easier for me to I just cut down a new great wood tree, and I'm wasting a lot. I mean, I'm wasting like half of my wood, but that's okay. There's plenty more where that came from. I've been using my SI magnet to bring all the bits in. It doesn't always do so good at going around corners, though. There we go. There's like one piece over there. It is. Okay. So now it's time to do some of the more difficult parts, like the corners and stuff. We're going to do another positive design. I actually had to make a new chisel. By the way, it does take durability out of your chisel when you're using designs or when you're using patterns. Every time I just go one more bit in, and then I go to this corner, and that takes down the next layer. And we go one more bit in. There we go. Okay. There, that looks good. So now we can take our other pattern. Let's see, what do we've got here? Yeah, it doesn't matter. We can always remake these by clicking on it. Just right click on that. Now we have our pattern. Hooray! And then we can just do this in all the corners, and it'll fix this. I accidentally turned that one into a wedge when it should have been this. Oh, by the way, to pick up a chiseled block, I always use a pickaxe. Even if it's wood or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's always a pickaxe. And then when you're holding a chiseled block or trying to place it, you can rotate it by holding down the shift key. But when you hold down the shift key, actually let's get off of here, because when you hold down the shift key, you can move it arbitrarily between blocks. So now we have our negative chisel design. The negative chisel design works a little differently than the positive chisel design. We do the same thing. We right click on a block to get the design, but instead of actually placing a chiseled block, it's just going to cut the block that you're hovering over into whatever shape. So we could now, with this negative chisel design, we can build we can build a wedge out of any block. And then what we can also do is we can make corners by using the thing twice. So like, for instance, we've got these blocks like this, and then on the corner here, we've got one going this way, which isn't right? But if we go like this, if we go like this, it's going to chisel that out to make a corner. Nice. So we could do the same thing in this corner. So we'll have blocks over here, and then we'll have some over here, and then we'll go like this, and this. Then we'll have a corner. So the negative pattern just chisels things out. It doesn't add anything. It just pulls it out. We have one piece left that's not working, and that's the upside down stairs. And we want to have that be kind of the reverse of the top one. Now, we can't take this design and flip it upside down. You can see, even if we do the shift and rotate, it only rotates it on the base. There's no way to get it to turn upside down. So what we have to do is we have to get a mirror chisel design. And the mirror chisel design will mirror the block that you click on the face that you click on it. So if we click on this block from the top, we're going to get, if we hold the shift, we'll see we've got now the upside down wedge. We can't use the mirror design though. We have to craft it. Here, let's clear this one. We have to craft it with an empty positive or negative chisel design, depending on which thing we want. Hey. Oh, yes, and you do get it back. So now we can swap out these blocks and use this guy. We can, okay, there we go. Hooray! There, that's much better. Look at that. What an improvement. I love that. So what's great is we only had to actually chisel one block on our little table over here in order to get all of our different wedges. A little tip, if you don't want to waste a bunch of blocks like I've been doing, you can actually just put one bit there, as long as there's something occupying this block space. If we click on that thing, we can then do this. Just because the patterns will replace whatever's in that block space. So you can't just, if there's nothing there, you can't just do this because it's going to end up replacing the block that you're clicking on. So you have to have something in that block space to click on. There. Oh, I love this. It looks so much better than the stairs. This table has two separate blocks in it, which you can do with chisels and bits. It's got some great wood planks, and then it's got sandstone, chiseled sandstone on the top. So let's say we want to make a little glass top table. I'm in the draw region right now, so I'm just basically going to take this top layer off. In fact, actually, I've changed my mind. Yeah, too late. I actually want to take everything but the outer part. When you have a bit bag in your inventory, as I'm using these bits, you can see that my stack is 64. It's staying 64 because it just keeps resupplying that stack from the bit bag. Set this to draw region. There. So now we've got glass on top of the table. Nice. And now I'll actually make it an actual table. Of course, you could spend hours creating. I mean, there's no limit to what you can create with this. We'll make it a little bedside table. It's not the prettiest table ever, but maybe, yeah, right there. Can put a little torch on it, or better yet, a candle. Let's put a candle on it. There. Now it looks like it'll burn the house down. So here, this is the negative chisel design, and I made it from this wedge, but I can also use it here, and oh crap. It'll give us a little arch there, even though that's a different type of block. Ever since I built this house, I really like the way the great wood looks with this chiseled sandstone on the outside, but I've never really liked the way it looks on the inside. I just don't think it makes a very good inside wall block. So I'd like to have a different block on the inside. However, I don't want to have like this, you know. I don't want to have 2 block thick walls. That just wouldn't make sense to have walls that are 2 meters thick. We don't want that, right? So that is an easy thing to solve. I'm going to leave one of these here so that I can chisel it away. Just going to take my chisel. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to empty out one of my... No, actually, I do have some room in that bag. Okay. So I'm just going to go to the biggest chunk that I can do at once. Actually, it probably would have been easier to do the plane thing. Yeah, this. Then it'll give us the whole plane. There we go. Just have to make sure I don't chisel away the floor. There we go. Okay. So there's a couple different approaches we can take here. We could place bits in a plane and basically have paneling. Although do keep in mind that if you have connected textures, if a block has oh, that looks so much better for an inside wall. If your block has connected textures, they're not going to be connected. But we could actually take this even a step further. Like for instance, here, we're not going to be able to put a plane there. So, if we left click, we'll chisel a plane away. And then we can replace it that way. Oh my gosh, I'm already out of bits. Okay. So we can have two different textures within the same block space. If you've seen any of my 1.7.10 builds, you'll know that I liked working with micro blocks. You know what? Chisels and Bits lets you do a lot of things that micro blocks couldn't. And it comes at the price of complexity. However, as I'm working with these more and more, I'm finding that they're actually quite easy to work with. Like this whole process of me switching out these blocks, or these like just single planes in the block, is actually quite easy. Oh, I went too far there, didn't I? Did I? No, okay. All I have to do is go left click, right click, left click, right click. Look at that. That's actually easier than placing micro blocks, because with the micro blocks you have to be really careful about which side of the block or what part of the block you click on and all that. In this, you just set, whatever it is you want to do, whether it be a plane or a single bit or whatever. We can also make our wall as thick or thin as we want. So let's say we only want it that thick. We can do that. Probably want it a little thicker than that though. Let's try that. Yeah, that looks good. Look at that. That is a drawn region. I love that I can make arbitrarily sized windows. Here, let's actually get rid of this for a second. So we can go in there. So I just made one little line here using the draw region. And now if we do a connected, or if we do, let's see, hold Option, and we go to connected plane, it'll just do this. Whatever side we click on, it's going to basically add another thing to that plane, but it won't overwrite blocks that already exist. So this allows me to basically fill this little space here with window. Although this part I may have to do single bits. And then go to connected plane. There. Nice. All right, one more little decorative silly thing I want to do. I'm going to go like that. Get my chisel. I'm going to take a plane. I might as well just grab the whole thing. There. Just making a little picture frame. We'll get a little bit of a leveled effect, and then we'll grab our line. There. Look at that. Nice. You could actually put some glass in front of that too. We could probably do a connected plane here, and that should give us... Yeah, there we go. Obviously, if you're more artistic than I am, you can create your own art. Next video, we are going to be playing around more with Neotech. Neotech, I haven't upgraded yet. I'm still running 3.0.36, but once I upgrade to 3.0.38, I'm going to have the newest version of Neotech, which has a lot of really cool improvements. Just some really nice stuff. The pipes have been completely redone from what I could see. And I think that we're going to be able to fix our lag problems with the newest version of Neotech. So once again, I'm going to be redoing my pipes, and I'm going to have to because I've noticed that if I try to upgrade, my game crashes because of the Neotech pipes. So because of the upgrade to the Neotech pipe. So I'm actually going to have to go in and destroy all my Neotech pipes and then upgrade to 3.0.38, I think it is right now. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to replace my Neotech pipes with the improved version of them, and I'm probably going to replace my Buildcraft pipes as well. So we should be able to fix this lag problem that we've been having, which is really freaking awesome. And they've got a new tree farm now, which is like basically lag free, and there's just a whole bunch of new stuff. There's new we have these electric sword and pickaxe. There's new electric armor now that has a bunch of cool upgrades that you can give it. Just amazing stuff, man. That mod just keeps getting better and better. So we're gonna play a little bit with that next time. And actually we're also going to make some charged creepers and get ourselves some skulls so that we can get a beheading, so that we can get a sword with beheading. Because I want to do some more wither fights in the near future for some other stuff. So I hope you'll join me for that, and if you did enjoy this, please don't forget to click the like button, and if you have any questions or just want to say hello, feel free to do so in the comments below, and join me next time. Thanks for watching.